Turkey's military is set to move into northern Syria and target Kurdish forces, the fighters who have been the main U.S. ally in the fight against ISIS, but who Turkey have declared a terrorist threat. Now, that Turkish military operation could come at any moment now that U.S. President Donald Trump is giving his okay and pulling U.S. troops out of the way. That process underway as we speak this hour with our Lindsay Duncombe, our senior Washington editor. She's in our bureau in Washington. So the move underway, as I said, Lindsay, what will this mean in the region?
Well, what it means is that those Kurdish fighters who for so long fought alongside the Americans in order to rid the region of ISIS, to move in to the caliphate and destroy that physical ISIS caliphate, are now going to be on their own when it comes to a military invasion from a longtime enemy with a more sophisticated army. At the same time, the Turkish government are saying that they will take responsibility, the Turks will take responsibility for the ISIS fighters that are in captivity and their families. This is leading to a couple of concerns this morning. One is that the Americans are abandoning an ally, which could send a message to other allies around the world. And two, that what this fighting will do is really create the conditions of instability that could lead to a resurgence of ISIS.
When you talk about his abandoning an ally, certainly people were surprised at what seems to be another example of erratic foreign policy, and it came out just so suddenly late last night. Any indication why he would be doing this now?
This is something that Donald Trump has wanted to do for a long time, Heather. Remember, he had wanted to go in this direction back in December and was held back by some of the officials around him, including officials that are no longer there. That is what prompted Defense Secretary James Mattis to leave his post, leaving a letter talking about supporting allies. We do have a sense of the president's thinking this morning in a series of tweets, and I'll walk you through them. Here's what he said about the Kurds. He said, "The Kurds fought with us, but were paid massive amounts of money and equipment to do so. They have been fighting Turkey for decades. I held off this fight for almost 3 years. Time for us to get out of these ridiculous, endless wars." He goes on to say the Americans will fight where it is to our benefit and only fight to win. He lists the long number of countries in the region: Turkey, Europe, Syria, Iran, Iraq, Russia, and the Kurds will now have to figure the situation out, do what they want to do with the captured ISIS fighters in their neighborhood. And then he goes on to say that ISIS will be crushed if they come anywhere near us, assuming the Americans. This is Donald Trump's America First strategy, and we have to look at it in the context of everything else that's happening in the United States right now. Donald Trump, of course, is feeling the intensifying impeachment inquiry moving closer to him. What this is an opportunity for the president to say to his supporters that he is living up to his promises. Getting out of foreign wars was a promise that he made, and now, with this example, he can say it's a promise that he kept.
Lindsay, thank you very much. Lindsay is our senior Washington editor and in our bureau there in the U.S. Capitol. There's another Trump story that we're watching. His move to pull those U.S. troops out comes right as the battle at home to have him impeached heats up again. 3 Democrat-controlled House committees will continue to hear witnesses this week. The hearings taking place as a second whistleblower emerges, potentially placing Trump in more peril. Unlike the first informant, this new whistleblower claims to have first-hand knowledge of that phone call Trump had with the president of Ukraine, allegedly seeking dirt on Joe Biden and his son in exchange for military aid. In an overnight Twitter tirade, Trump went on the offensive, accusing top Democrats Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff of treason and saying they should be impeached for orchestrating a witch hunt against him.